self-service elevator. I rode to the 4th floor, poked around until I found the stairway, and walked down a flight. I almost always do this, and I sometimes wonder why. I think someone must have done it in a movie once, and I was evidently impressed, but it's really a waste of time, especially when the elevator in question is self-service. The one thing it does is fix in your mind where the stairs are should you later need them in a hurry, but you ought to be able to locate stairs without scampering up or down them. On the 3rd floor, I found my way to apartment 311 at the front of the building. I stood for a moment, letting my ears do the walking, and then I gave the bell a thorough ring and waited 30 thoughtful seconds before ringing it again. And that, let me assure you, is not a waste of time. Public institutions throughout the 50 states provide food and clothing and shelter for lads who don't ring the bell first. And it's not enough just poking the silly thing. A couple of years back, I rang the bell diligently enough at the Park Avenue co-op of a charming couple named Sandoval, poked the little button until my finger throbbed, and wound up going directly to jail without passing go. The bell was out of order. The Sandovals were home scoffing toasted English muffins in the breakfast nook, and Bernard G. Rhodenbarr soon found himself in a little room with bars on the windows. This bell was in order. When my second ring brought no more response than my first, I reached a hand beneath my topcoat, last year's model, not plaid, but olive, and drew a pigskin case from my trouser pocket. There were several keys in the case and several other useful things as well, these last made of the finest German steel. I opened my case, knocked on the door for luck, and set to work. A funny thing. The better your building, the higher your monthly rental, the more efficient your doorman, why, the easier it's going to be to crack your apartment. People who live in unattended walk-ups in Hell's Kitchen will fasten half a dozen deadbolt locks to their doors and add a Siegel police lock for insurance. Tenement dwellers take it for granted that junkies will come to kick their doors in, and strong-arm types will rip the cylinders out of their locks, so they make things as secure as they possibly can. But if the building itself is so set up as to intimidate your garden variety snatch-and-grab artist, then most tenants make do with the lock the landlord provides. In this case, the landlord provided a Rabson. Now, there's nothing tacky about a Rabson lock. The Rabson is very good. But then, so am I. I suppose it took me a minute to open the lock. A minute may be long or short, significant or inconsequential. It is long indeed when you're spending it inserting burglar's tools into a lock of an apartment manifestly not your own, and when you know that during any of its 60 seconds, another door down the hallway might open, and some nosy Parker might want to know just who you think you are and just what you think you're doing. No one opened a door. No one got off the elevator. I did creative things with my finely tempered steel implements, and the tumblers tumbled, and the lock mechanism turned, and the deadbolt drew itself deliberately back and disengaged. When that happened, I let out the breath I'd been holding and drew a fresh one. Then I wiggled my picks a little more and opened the spring lock, which was child's play after the deadbolt, and when it snicked back, I felt that little surge of excitement that's always there when I open a lock. It's a little like a roller coaster ride, and a little like sexual triumph. And you may make of all that what you will. I turned the knob, eased the heavy door inward half an inch or so. My blood was really up now. You never know for certain what's going to be on the other side of the door. That's one of the things that makes it exciting, but it also makes it scary. And it's still scary no matter how many times you've done it. Once the lock's open, though, you can't do it an inch at a time like an old lady slipping into a swimming pool. So I pushed the door open and went inside. The room was dark. I closed the door behind me, turned the bolt, dug a penlight flash out of my pocket, and played